Hello and welcome to Quartzlight, your car brochure channel and Ford Fridays. In today's episode, it's the Ford Focus first generation. Welcome back, and if you're new to Quartzlight, we're a car brochure channel here on YouTube, looking at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. So if you think that might interest you as a car enthusiast or a car brochure collector, please consider subscribing. Today's episode then, the Ford Focus, the very early ones, the first generation, first came out in 1998. Considered one of these world cars that Ford used to go on about, we got this Ford Escort, it's going to be a world car, and then in North America it was something completely different. But another attempt at the world car with this Ford Focus, and a little bit closer to what they tried to do, I guess, this time. In North America, it arrived in 1999 for the 2000 model year. The brochure we're looking at today, incidentally, is from 1998, so a look at how those first trim levels appeared and your engine choices, etc, etc. It came with the code name C170. Yeah, sadly gone are the days of Ford naming their cars or their code names after girls, Brenda, etc. Now we get C170. How dull. Anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at this very early Ford Focus brochure. So here we go with today's brochure. Like I say, a very early one. Actually, it says at the top here 1998, but it's actually printed in October 1998. So a very early one for the Ford Focus. I always like the early brochures because they give you an idea of what people expected of this new model. And at the top, clearly showing the new Ford Focus. Focus name new for this model is, of course, replacing the Escort, and in fact this was nearly called the Ford Escort again, actually. I think it was only around about 1998 which they actually decided to officially call it the Focus, so that's interesting. Unusual styling, isn't it? Really brave styling from the quite a dull Escort. I'm glad they did change the name, really, because the last Escorts, let's face it, they were pretty dull and uninspiring. This is a far nicer design in my view. I usually prefer the previous models of most cars, but I do like how they updated the Focus with all these sort of lines and designs. I think personally they did a pretty good job. Of course, the world car, so we had it in North America as well. This is a slightly later brochure for 2002, but you can see how sort of the lights changed. These little orange lights were different on the North American versions, and the rear lights were a little bit different as well. Maybe we might have a look at the rear lights later on as well. But anyway, it's quite a big brochure, this one, so we should get on with it. So here we go, a bit of a side shot of the Focus, and quite an interesting design overall, quite a modern with these big lights, showing us a bit of a safety thing. These high brake lights on them, lots of sort of angles, even down to this little indicator here, a little bit of like a triangle shape. Unusually get a triangle shape indicator, although you didn't actually get them on the North American ones. As you can see, they didn't have an indicator on the side there. Overall, an interesting design. I don't want to spend too much time on each page, or particularly these early ones, as it is a big brochure to get through. Various different types, as you can see in this page. Right from the start, we get hatchback, saloon, and estate. Saloon kind of lost a bit for me. I'm not too sure about the saloon. Estate, a very practical estate car, of course. So right from the start, you had all that choice, which was pretty amazing. Fantastic colour. I don't know about you, but I do like that metallic green shown on this particular model. You can even get, as we saw the 5-door. Here's the 3-door right from the start again. Some more pictures of these various models. Of course, that is the 5-door above it. Weird writing though, versatile, bold, human. I don't know what they were trying to say there, but let's move on. Continues with rewarding, purposeful, confident rear shots of the saloon. In gear, guys, a little bit of a gear badge, you know, your car you always aspired to have. More images and weird words, flexible, individual, functional. This now focusing on the estate. Kind of weird though, isn't it? I don't know about you, I don't remember this. Estate car rear lights. Did they only have one rear reversing light on the European model? Comment in the jot something in the comments if you know. I didn't really notice that until now, and I've never actually owned a Focus Estate in the UK. So I just kind of like noticed that now, just one rear reversing light, which is weird. I presume the opposite one is a rear fog lamp, being obviously UK regulations. North American model, slightly different because obviously you don't have a rear fog lamp in North America, but you can see twin reversing lights on that particular model, and obviously no orange indicators as you get in Europe, of course. Very practical car that I always thought, the Focus Estate. Yeah, it's not quite as nice as the hatch with these lights, you don't get these lovely lights on, but still a very practical car for sure. So this is quite an interesting brochure in many different ways really. This particular, we're showing the colours now in a very clever way. We normally show the colours at the end of a brochure, but here we're introducing it very early on in quite a clever way actually. It's a nice way to show the colours, I think. So if we zoom in, we get Empara Blue, we get Radiant Red, Panther Black, if I can pick that up on camera, there we go, Panther Black, Diamond White. The colour I actually really like for the Focus, Aqua Frost. I think that does suit the car. Down the bottom, showing the estate in Pacific Green. On the other side, we've got Bright Blue, which is looking very purple. Moon Dust Silver, which was certainly a very popular colour in the 90s. And 2000s actually. It seems to be like a bit of a millennium colour, doesn't it? Pepper Red, and of course Harvest Gold. Oh, just one more I missed there. State Blue. So I think that's quite a clever way to show the colours. This page, I must admit, I don't like as much as other Ford brochures when they introduce a model. Rather than having a different model, you know, your L, GL, gear, one page after the other, they've kind of like grouped it all together. So we'll zoom in on some of this, but like I said, I'm not a huge fan how they've done this one. I think they was clever with the colours, but we should have really seen each model one after the other, in my opinion anyway. But let's zoom in and see the different spec levels. So again, no real picture showing each model either, which is disappointing in this brochure, but base model was called the CL. Now I don't know about you, but I always preferred it when it was L, LX, GL, GLS, GLX, gear. But now it's a bit weird now. But anyway, I guess that's progress for you. Maybe that's just me. But it says, if you expect more from the CL, you won't be disappointed with standard features including central locking, electric front windows, power steering, drivers and front passengers airbags, and safeguard engine immobiliser. Now the next one in the range, weirdly, I think that's a weird name for a spec level. The Ford Focus Z-Tech. With dynamic image, Z-Tech offers remote central double locking and sporting cues including firmer suspension, alloy wheels and front fog lamps. Trying to be a bit sporty, giving it a weird engine name, but I don't really understand that, why they did that. And then the next one up from that would be your LX. With the LX you'll find a standard, a sunroof, remote control central double locking, remote control tailgate release, and a stereo radio cassette with ergonomically designed steering column remote controls. And I guess that's some of the images of the LX, but like I say, it's not great, is it? Much better to see an actual picture, I think. I probably would guess that this actually, the main picture is the LX actually. That looks like the LX, if I had to guess. Next one up, and these are some of the images of it, I'm sure you can guess. Well, I'm sure you can guess if my camera eventually tunes in and focuses. Now it does. I'm sure you can guess by that wood trim that it's a gear, and of course we've got the gear badge just to confirm that. So the Ford Focus gear. If you expect more luxury, take a closer look at the gear. Standard features include air conditioning, quick clear heated windscreen, driver's power seat height adjustment, and electrically operated and heated door mirrors with body colour surrounds. You've also got the gear with the 2-litre, anti-locking brakes, traction control, 15-inch alloy wheels, CD auto changer, and power front and rear windows with global close as standard features, and add an extra dimension to the gear. And those are the alloy wheels it's talking about. Now this time Ford was all about packs you could add on, rather than saying I want this and I want that. You pick a particular pack that you want. So starting at the top here, there's something called the styling pack, available on gear, alloy wheels and metallic paint. The climate pack, the climate pack, available on the CL, ZTEX and LX. Air conditioning, quick clear heated windscreen with heated washer jets, electrically operated heated door mirrors with body colour housings. And then at the bottom here you've got something called the luxury pack. So your gear, you could have leather trim, electrically operated rear windows and global closing. The gear 2-litre, you could have leather trim and also cruise control as well. Don't think I've ever seen, I'm sure there were lots of them, but I just can't remember seeing a Focus with leather trim. We've also got the Reflex pack, available on the CL, ZTEC, LX, 1.6, 1.8, 1.8 turbo diesel gear, electronic anti-lock brakes and front side airbags. And I think that's the last one, isn't it? Yeah. So you could enhance and personalise, as it tells us, with these different packs. I always thought packs were a little bit weird. Again, maybe that's showing my age. Because you could kind of like make your base model have like features your gear could have. But then, because it wasn't a gear, you just lost a lot of money. I think you always lose a lot of money on buying packs because they never really add any money to the second-hand value. In my very sensible opinion, I think you're always better going up at actual trim level, really. But like I say, you could on the gear have leather seats if you wanted. I think this next page really shows the key to the success of the Focus. Ford, not too much money, but extremely good road holding, as it says here, positive dynamics and handling, class leading. So I mean, these were like, you know, street furniture at one time, like the Escorts before it were, but you know, they really did step up the game with the handling, and I think that was the key. I'm sure these eventually will become just as collectible as, you know, 80s Escorts and 80s Sierras. Maybe this is the time to buy them, I don't know, but like I say, I'm usually very impartial on this channel, but certainly it was class leading handling at this time. Next page is showing obviously the key to all this rear suspension, which is a great way to highlight that. I guess we should just read a little bit of this brochure. It is a big brochure, hence why I haven't been reading a great deal of it. It says fully independent control blade, multi-link rear suspension delivers class-leading ride comfort and refinements. The control blade system allows each rear wheel to move independently to absorb bumps and enhance ride comfort. Passive rear wheel steer means the Ford Focus is designed to be particularly stable during high-speed lane change manoeuvres. As it says, unique, not so unique really, but certainly a clever little car to a clever little thing to put on a very much a average car. This page now showing a little bit of a shots of this 1.6 16-valve Zetec engine. It also tells us which models that is actually available on. So you get the 1.4 on the CL, the 1.6 on the Zetec LX and Gear, the 1.8 on the Zetec LX and Gear, the 2 litre Zetec on the Gear only, and the 1.8 turbo diesel on the CL, Zetec LX and Gear. We get another clever little image of how much space there is in for such a relatively small family car. Then we get some nice little interior shots. This is the Zetec spec level. Interesting fabric seats. Very much this curviness continued on the inside, which was very much Ford design language at the time. The brochure then does kind of like swivel out to show more interior shots, showing the different levels. This one's your Zetec again. We just about get that in shots. It's a bit better. And then down the bottom left here, that's your LX trim and your Gear trim as well. We may just zoom in on that, and we'll have another look at some of these trim levels again. Okay, so base model, it says attention to detail defines the range, takes CL's electrically operated front windows and Watton shot lowering function on the driver's side. Further in-touches include centre mounting courtesy light with theatre dimming and delayed switch off, remote tailgate release which operates with the engine running but prevents operation while on the move, and a pollen filter designed to keep CL's interior fresh and pleasant. Moving down the range, we get the Zetec. Zetec has sporting cues for the young at heart, from the sport style heat front seats to the leather trimmed steering wheel and the metallic finish gear lever knob. Zetec adds a new dimension to Ford Focus: adventurous personality. LX, in addition to the tilted slide screen glass sunroof, LX also brings you remote control central double locking with an independent boot release feature and super light column mounted fingertip controls for the high power 4-speaker stereo radio cassette with RDS. And then we get the Gear models. If you're looking for more luxury, Gear brings you CFC free air conditioning, wood grain effect fascia, centre console and door trim inserts, leather trim steering wheel and gear lever knob, and stylish bright finishing touches. And then we get the Gear 2 litre. For the ultimate in driving sounds, you'll find a high power stereo radio cassette with high column mounted fingertip controls, 4 speakers and CD auto changer, in addition to the features found on the Gear. So that's your so-called sporty Zetec model with this sort of like shiny finish. I guess you can probably see it better on this page, that sort of shiny finish here. Moving down to the LX, that gets sort of a black finish, as you can see. It was again, if my camera will tune in, there you go, more of a black finish, like I say. And then the Gear gets this sort of wood grain, false wood type effect. Okay, so some of the specifications now. I think we'll start with the engine specifications for each different version. So that base one, that's the 1388cc, the 1.4 Zetec. Then we get a 1.6 16 valve 1596cc, the 1.8 which is a 1796cc, the 2 litre which is a 1989cc, and the turbo diesel which is a 1753. Of course you can pause that screen if you do want to have a look at it in any more details. If we move the camera down, it also shows what the insurance groups were at the time. Obviously that's going to be different now. Performance and economy figures now. Let's have a look what we've got. I don't think it even shows the 1.4 strangely. It starts off showing these 1.6s, 115 miles per hour, 0 to 62 in 10.9. The 1.8's top speed 123, 0 to 62 in 10.9. Similarly for the 4-door models. The 2 litre though does it on 125 miles per hour top speed and 0 to 62 in 9.3 seconds, and the turbo diesel top speed 114 miles per hour, 0 to 62 in 12.6 seconds. That's for the 4 doors. Similar figures for the others as well. But like I said, interestingly, they haven't included that little 1.4. That's a little bit cheeky, isn't it? Oh, yep, just zoomed in there. I have found the 1.4 though. 106 miles per hour, 0 to 62, 14.4 seconds. Bit of a slow one, that. And on the back page we can see the date for this one, 15th of October 1998. We've also got the price list as well, also 15th of October 1998. So let's have a look at that now. So interestingly, there is the full price list over here for each individual model, but I think on camera it's actually going to be easier just to look at this center little graph, which kind of like gives you an idea of those prices. So let's just zoom in on there and let's see what we can get our basic CL for. It's doing the example as 5-door models here. So 12,850 for that base model, 13,350 for your Z-Tech, 13,850 for the LX, so not much extra for the LX model. And then the gear model, it's showing it as 14,350. Then of course a jump up to that gear model at 15,350. Kind of also shows in graph form the features the different models have above the model below it, which is quite nice actually. I kind of like wish they'd put that in the brochure a little bit better. So quite well equipped really. I mean for Ford anyway. I mean Ford were not keen on giving equipment out for nothing, were they? Particularly on new models, they were notorious for really giving you stripped down models when models first came out, I think. And then you've also got them packs we were talking about before. They're quite nicely laid out in this as well. So your styling pack, £500, climate pack, £500, reflex pack, £500. However, you've wanted that luxury pack on your gear or gear 2 litre to get that leather trim, £1,500, which is probably why I've never seen a Focus with leather trim. So there we go, the Ford Focus. I'm sure lots of you have got memories of the Ford Focus, because for this show it's relatively not that old, is it, for us really? But if you've got any comments, please do jot them in the comments section. Always interesting to read your thoughts and opinions of the Ford Focus, good or bad. So thank you once again for watching Ford Friday. If you haven't done already, please do like and subscribe. That'd be very much appreciated. Have a great weekend. Tomorrow for the Saturday special we'll continue that 1985 Nissan Brochure, which, you know, we're finding out is quite an extensive range at the time, isn't it? But thank you for watching. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care and